Well, on the plus side, I seem like I'm going to be getting sun a little earlier this morning. This was a really nice campsite. Outside of the fact that I had internet access, did hit my schedule a little bit. Always way too many things to catch up with. So this morning I have about 10 miles into Monarch Pass. My parents are going to come meet me, take me into Salida, eat, resupply, get a hotel, and they unfortunately have to head back to Canyon City tonight, but they got a ride arranged for me in the morning. This is kind of my ideal type stop. Other than ideally I would do 15-ish miles in to meet them. But there's only so many places you can get access to town, and they kind of fall how they fall. Biggest reason for the hotel is so I can efficiently charge all my electronics, and I am hoping to do laundry again. Hasn't been that many days since Twin Lake, but I have, I think, 100 some miles to get to Creed, and at this point I'm basically never taking any of my base layers off. I sweat in them. They get muddy when I take a fall, so I'm gonna err on the side of doing laundry again. The smell doesn't bother me since I'm out here alone, but they can get kind of sticky, and if they start causing some sort of a skin rash, that becomes a management issue, and that's what I want to avoid. Oh man, I love exploring mines, but not really the big fall in the hole sort. I am still choking a bit on the necessity of doing the Creed shortcut versus the San Juan Red Line, but it's really the smart choice here. So I'll take that cutoff during this next section. I'm actually counting on my resupply being Creed instead of some of the towns you can get to from the San Juan loop. From the comments, several of those are basically shutting down, which also would make resupply harder. Somebody mentioned that I hadn't talked about hiker wine nearly to the extent I did last year. And that is really a factor of the food carries out here. I mean, some of the towns are so tiny, you're not really going to be able to find much of anything in those little hiker carrier boxes. But the other thing is, when I'm doing, 6 or 7 day food carries, that's extra weight I don't need. On top of the fact I've had to carry heavier gear on this one just due to the nature of the weather. So the few times like Grand Lake where I was able to get them, it just made sense to drink them in town rather than carry them out the next day. Which is a bummer, because wine up at altitude in the tent is quite yummy, but oh well. Every time I'm in the rocks like this, it's Pica Central. You can hear them go off and see them sometimes, but they're really shy. Hard to get them on camera. This is all that storm yesterday. It was coming down more over here. Melts away really quick though. Good way to wake up in the morning. Days like this actually drag, or I know I only got about 10 miles because all I can think about is food, food, food. And so it's harder to just kind of lose myself in the hike. Major rock fall over there. That sound always gets my attention because I've been in shoots when stuff like that's gone off. Yeah. Gotta love the high country. I came across that pass over there last night. Salida is out that way, Monarch Pass, etc. And I'm meeting it over there. Just heard my third major rockfall coming off that face. What happens is the water gets into the rocks, freezes, pushes them apart, then thaws. been going through some ski area. Basically where that truck is. I was back on that ridge and behind that big summit in the background. And there's my pickup spot. Why, hello. There we go, one of the rare times I'm not a solo hiker. Despite having some setbacks on their end, my parents had driven out from Canyon City, took me into Salida, got me some surprisingly good Mexican food, and set me up at the hotel, and they were even nice enough to bring some special treats for me. Well, sadly, my parents had to head back to Canyon City early, but they got me resupplied, got me well situated. I am very well fed, I am warm, I have laundry, I have showered, and tomorrow morning it is back out in the cold, headed for Greed.